Ooh, does he kill the virtue or the calendar? Neither. Huge mistake. That's a good game. He had the opportunity. All right, we double it up and we hit him for 101. GG Uten. And it's just that easy. Hey guys, Casually here. And I want to just share one of the new decks that I made with the new Ixalan set. This deck is a red and white deck based primarily on the combo of Millennium Calendar and All Will Be One. The goal is to get 10 or 20 counters on your Millennium Calendar, and then that will allow you to one-shot the opponent with All Will Be One on the field. The good part is that you can put Millennium Calendar on the field turn 1 and start it ticking up. Every time you untap, you're going to get multiple counters on the Millennium Calendar. 2 mana and tap it, you double the amount of counters on it. This is what you use to one-shot the opponent once you have enough counters on it. And then if you, for some reason, can't get the combo, you can also just keep doubling it every turn and get 1,000 or more counters on it, and then the opponent will lose 1,000 life. Surge of Salvation is in here just to protect your combo pieces a little bit. Filigree Silex and Tablet of Completion are both ways to get counters. This gives you some free value from All Will Be One once you get it down on the field, because you're taking up counters every single turn. Filigree Silex is also good as a control piece. Tablet of Completion is good for ramp and for draw late game. And usually you're going to be ramping from 2 mana to 5 mana to play either an All Will Be One or a Sunfall most of the time. So it doesn't really matter that this is a little bit slower than other ramp pieces. I've got 4 Braids. These have been very good. There's a lot of new artifacts in the new set and a lot of creatures that you're going to want to kill. A Braid's perfect for both of those. Wedding Announcement, 4 of these. I wouldn't recommend playing a white deck without Wedding Announcements. It's just too good. Also, Wedding Announcements has counters on it as well. So that will help you ping low health planeswalkers or small creatures just for free with just 1 Wedding Announcement down and 1 All Will Be One. Volt Charge. This card's been pretty good. It's a little bit of a flex slot. This would be one of my first cuts if I had to cut something. But being able to proliferate on turn 3 after you either play a Silex or a Tablet is pretty good. And it can kill Planeswalkers or their 3-drops a lot of the time. Wandering Emperors, just an amazing card. Again, I wouldn't really recommend playing a white deck without it. I have 2 of them. Probably could go up to 4. Thousand Moon Smithy. This is a new card I've just been trying out. It's been good some games and bad some games. Some games it just plays 1 creature if you don't have enough artifacts or creatures down. And that's it for 4 mana. Obviously that's not great, but I've been playing around with it just to test it out. In the future I may go down a couple of these to just go up to 4 Wandering Emperors for my 4 drop. That would probably be the best. 4 Sunfalls. This is an insane card in white. Exile all gets around soldiers or anything with ward. Don't have to worry about that. And also, when you incubate, if you have All Will Be One on the field and you exile 4 creatures, that means you incubate 4, and then you're going to be able to deal 4 damage because of All Will Be One, because you're putting 4 1/1 counters on your incubate token. So that'll help you clear the field of creatures and help you kill a planeswalker at the same time if they happen to have that. Otherwise, you can just hit face. Virtue of Loyalty. This is good to just have another 2-drop that you can trade with their 2-drop. And if you happen to get a Wedding Announcements down or a Wandering Emperor, get a couple tokens out. This is going to put 1/1 counters on all of your creatures at the end of the turn, which is again good for all will be one, because all of those counters that go on, that's going to be more damage. If you put 3 counters on, that's 3 more damage. And you can really nickel and dime people down with damage with this deck, even just with Tablet of Completion, Filigree Silex. Even if you don't get your Millennium Calendar for some reason. And I'm only running 3 Millennium Calendars and 3 all will be ones. This has been pretty good for me so far. I could definitely see it going up to 4 Millennium Calendars. I would probably not go up to 4 all will be ones necessarily. It depends. You totally could. I'd probably cut 1 Virtue for 1 more all will be one. If I was going to change that, I'd probably cut the Smithies for 2 more Wandering Emperors. And I'd probably cut a Volt Charge for a 4th Millennium Calendar if I wanted to make those changes. But this is the deck that I ran the games with. The lands are pretty standard. Plains, mountains, multicolored lands, Battlefield Forge and Sundown Pass, 3 Restless Bivouacs. This is nice because it's a man land for 3 mana, and it puts a 1/1 counter on itself or another creature that you have, which also will activate all will be one. So potentially it could be very strong, even if all you have on the board is all will be one and a Restless Bivouac. If you happen to have a Virtue of Loyalty, it gets even better. Gemmer's Garden and Field of Ruin. I think Field of Ruin is a very important card to run in any kind of control deck. You see it even in semi-aggro decks nowadays. With the return of man lands, the prominence of Field of Ruin or similar kind of land to destruction lands is going to be very high. They're going to be very important. One thing I have noticed is if you're using your Tablet of Completion for mana, once you have 2 oil counters on it or more, the auto tapper will try to tap your tablet for the colorless mana before it will try to tap your Jetmir's Gardens for some reason. It's the only land that I've had a problem with so far has been the Jetmir's Gardens. I guess because it prioritizes the 3 potential colors over just the colorless of this, but it really does mess you up sometimes, so be careful of having your Tablet of Completion tap for mana when you want to either draw or put another oil counter on it if you have a Jetmir's Garden in play. But this does have a cycling effect on it, which makes it really good for preventing you from flooding. I could definitely add a couple of the legendary lands into this deck. I kind of forgot about it, but it's not that big of a deal. I'd probably cut 1 Plains, 1 Jetmir's Garden, and go up 1 of the each legendary lands. But this is the deck that I ran for the games. Hope you enjoy. Okay. We're in a game. We have a turn 1 Millennium Calendar. And we have a kill spell and a Sunfall. This should be a pretty good start for against most decks. We're up against U10, Mythic number 800 right now. Does he hover over it to see what it does? Perhaps he's already run into this kind of deck. That's a great turn 2 play. He's on black and white, so he's definitely running kill spells. and green. Some sort of Abzan colors, it looks like. I just want to keep ticking up my tablet every turn. And I'll try to volt charge something if I think I can get value from it. He does not use Boseiju. He prefers to have it as a land. Interesting. I'm tempted to volt charge his face here. I think I'm going to do it. Just to get my tablet to click up a little bit faster and pretend I'm a burn deck. Put a little bit of pressure. I have 5 mana here. Oh. He already played his Boseiju. Maybe I just go for it. If he doesn't have an answer to the cards that I have on board, he actually dies next turn. And he already played his Boseiju, which I think was a big mistake. I don't know what he has in his hand. He could have a lot of good answers. But if he doesn't, he's in trouble. Ah, he does. He does have an answer. That's okay. That was our high roll. We still have plenty of board wipes because I assume he is running a creature-based deck in Abzan colors. Could be wrong, though. I don't need to use my Field of Ruin yet. I will go ahead and tap everything for my Millennium calendar, though. It's up to 35. We're looking good. Gonna hold the Jetmir's Garden to get a draw here. He probably has another Leyline Binding. I would be shocked if he didn't. If I can draw into a protection spell, that would be so good. So I have to decide if I want to draw, double my counters, or play Virtue. I think I'm gonna let him go, and then I'll decide based on what he does. So he looks like a more control-based deck. Now I could just take this. Doesn't really matter to me. Eventually my wedding announcements. Oh, it's a good thing I didn't play my Virtue. Now, I can drop the cards in my hand down here, actually, to prevent him from getting a draw. I think that's worth it. And now, I'm going to go for the same kind of turn. Wedding announcements. is going to put pressure on him. I can choose to tick up my Millennium calendar, draw, or play Virtue again. I will go ahead and block one just to save my life. I don't want to go all in on the calendar yet. I already instantly win if I can get another all will be one. I think I'm going to go for draws. I don't have any reason to fill the board. If I have 2 Sunfalls in hand, it's pretty likely I'm going to have to use those. I'm going to take the read that he does not have Farewells in his deck if he's running Leyline Binding. That's a pretty nasty non-bow that most people don't like to mess with. For good reason, too. I'm just collecting all the wedding announcements right now. I want to see how many cards he has. He doesn't have 3 kill spells. So he trades his 2/2 for, or he trades his 3/3 for a 2/2. Oh, there it is. His own board wipe. Unfortunately for him, our token is bigger. I wonder if he has an instant speed removal for it. Go for the throat, maybe. If not, he's either losing his creature or his planeswalker. Yep, there's the go for the throat. I'm still getting 2 big tokens this turn, so that's fine. I mostly want to draw. Ooh. If I had mana this turn, I could instantly win with that. Instead, I'm going to try to bait him into using one of his removals on my Virtue. It looks like he wants to reanimate something with his Virtue of Persistence, but I don't see anything from his graveyard that he can. And my decks usually don't run creatures in control decks. Ooh. Does he kill the Virtue or the calendar? Neither. Huge mistake. Alright. That's a good game. He had the opportunity. Alright, we double it up and we hit him for 101. GG, Uten. And it's just that easy. We're up against Black Tide, Mythic number 1771. This is a good start. Filigree Silex and a Braid that I can play on turn 2 will be good for control. Looks like it's going to be Filigree Silex first, so I can tick it up to 2 very quickly. I expect he'll have more than just 1 2-drop. Hopefully it's not Graveyard Trespasser. Oh, it's not. Perfect. That looks like a perfect target for Wandering Emperor. I could go ahead and abrade this then. This is as good as time as any to burn my Silex. Oh. Okay then. He didn't like my setup. GG. We're up against Tashi Seppa, Mythic number 855. This is a very control-y kind of hand, and I'll keep it. 2 Volt Charges, 2 Sunfalls, and enough mana to make me happy. Well, that doesn't look very good. It looks like they're playing some... It looks like they're on Soldiers. But Soldiers does run Initiate. I'm a very artifact and enchantment heavy deck, so I don't like that. And now he has given his Thalia Ward. We now have one of the most uninteractive possible games here. I think I have to Wedding Announcements just to get a couple blockers. Because if I try to Volt Charge Coppercoat Vanguard to then be able to Volt Charge Thalia to then be able to Sunfall, I'm probably dead. One of the downsides of Volt Charge being a 3-mana spell is that it gets taxed very heavily by Thalia. Oh, they didn't even go for a kill spell. They might end up regretting that. They're playing very heavily into a Sunfall right now without realizing it. Now, I can kill this guy even with the ward. I will proliferate this to threaten blockers, because now I have 2 2/2s instead of 2 1/1s. I still can't quite cast my Sunfall. I need 1 more mana or to get rid of the Thalia. And I really need that mana this turn because this guy had literally the perfect hand against me. Thalia into Coppercoat into Coppercoat. All after playing his Initiate on turn 1. Untapped land, and we get it. Lucky once. This should be a scoop from the opponent, I assume. It's going to be very hard for them to get past even just my wedding festivity and token. I will go ahead and counter pressure them a bit with my 2 creatures. If they don't have any blockers, that's good game. Well, the enemy got very, very lucky there, but we got just a little bit luckier. And that goes to show you that this deck does have win conditions outside of the combo. We're up against Dark Relic, Mythic 97%. I have turn 2 and 3 plays. We'll try it out. Evolved Sleeper will be really good to bait into a trade with my 2/2. Heal attack and pump, maybe. Pumps before attack. I will happily trade this. He would need exactly cut down, which I don't think many decks are really playing anymore. Gonna hold the Jet Mirror for a draw since I've already played one. Can Volt Charge a Trespasser here. Phyrexian Arena, huh? Okay then. The race is on, buddy. And I'm gonna make those 1 life per turn ticks hurt as much as I can. Probably should have played the Jet Mirror here so I could start playing my virtues a little bit faster, but that's okay. As long as my tablet is down, I'll get to my card draws eventually. Ooh. That's a new one. I haven't played against this before. Sacrifice a creature, very good. Ah, so this is to counteract the life loss, I see. He wants to turn that into the transformed version. That's a neat little trick there. I do have some abrades to get rid of it if I need, though. I also have a filigree Silex. Which could make his life quite difficult here. It could also kill a token instantly if he tries to play one this turn. Liliana. Looks like our filigree is going to 3. Liliana is a very powerful combo with Phyrexian Arena. I think I Volt Charge this before he can get any answers. I will have to discard my Sunfall, but that's fairly unavoidable at this point. He plays another 3-cost card. This is a mistake, because now I can kill all 3 of his things next turn for free. He could have just waited a turn, and that wouldn't have happened. Maybe he doesn't know what the filigree Silex really does, because black doesn't have a way to stop it. I really hate when it auto taps my tablet of completion. That's terrible, and the game should never do that, ever. I'm going to hold my planes to bait him into using another discard spell, though. I know the coding is fairly complicated for things like the auto tapper, but if I have just lands, my tablet of completion should never be getting tapped for mana that early. And again, it's trying to do it again. Well, that was a misplay by me. I could have killed his 1/1 rat. I was too busy, frustrated with the auto tapper. Could definitely cost me the game. Should have played that. That's okay. I have a really strong turn here with my Wandering Emperor All Will Be One combo. I should probably replace my legendary artifact that makes tokens with 2 more Wandering Emperors, considering how good it is comboed with All Will Be One. Enemy is roping, likely terrified that I might have some card like a Wandering Emperor. Certainly a reasonable worry. Unfortunately, I do have a Wandering Emperor, and it is going to kill most of his creatures, the ones that matter at least. You can make me sacrifice it, that's fine. But I will be exiling your Alcazats and killing your Lord Skitterer. I will have to discard my Bivouac that I should have played. It would have been really nice to have that in play here, actually. Oh well, at least I can ping down his rats. I don't want Lily to make me discard, so I'm just going to play it. At this point, most of his advantages have gone away. He has very few left, and mine are beginning to pile up. Okay. He exiled a creature from his graveyard to craft. Very nice. I am still sorely missing my Bivouac. Bolt charge, that's nice. The rats are going bye-bye. No reason to play the Virtue yet. Better to Volt Charge and instantly kill his Liliana next turn. He's going to play it and try to make me discard. But between Volt Charge, 3 damage, and my Tablet of Completions ticking up, with my All Will Be One in play, I will be able to instantly kill 1 more rat and the Lily. he'll be missing out on 1 damage if he attacks. If he tries to make me discard before he attacks. This is good for me because he's actually the only one discarding here. This one's gonna hurt. He did not like that. I suppose it's not worth getting upset after my lost bivouac, because he has a Field of Ruin in play, and he would have just used that on my bivouac anyways. Our opponent is roping. He is stressed. He does not like this current change in events. He does not want to get ticked down 1 by 1 by my all will be one. He wishes that he had splashed green for Terrace Under. Ooh, that's so good. A braid has finally reached its maximum potential, killing off the new artifacts with the craft feature. Now, we'll see if the enemy has any more discard spells. By next turn, my Virtue of Loyalty will start ticking up on my Wandering Emperor tokens, and it will be extremely difficult for my opponent to come back. Nice. Sir, I don't use the graveyard. Feel free to take as much as you want. Those cards do nothing for me. As they say, it's all over but the cryin'. Ooh. I will now Sunfall to assert dominance. Because I still have a token here. Non-token. Nice. Ooh. Another all will be one. Why does it leave a land open? What's going on, game? I might take these Jetmir's Gardens out. Just because of that. Well, he can transform this. Unfortunately, it won't really save him. I win with just my tablets and my all will be ones. Good game, sir. Tablet, all will be one. We're still moving slowly up the ranks, too. Very nice.